Have to remember how all this technology stuff here works. Let me pray really quickly. Let's bow our heads. Lord, it's so awesome to finally be here, back in school. I thank you for this group of students. I really look forward to getting to know them and teach them honors English. Lord, I pray that you would that you be glorified in this room, Lord. I want you to be honored. I want students to feel loved and cared for and respected and safe in this room. I pray that you would just make that possible, Lord. Work in all of us. Help us to just have an awesome year, Lord. I lift up each and every one of these students. I thank you that they're here. I know that the last 6 months have been hard for everybody. It's just not ideal. So many things have been taken away from these kids, these opportunities, sports, activities. I just pray that you would be near to them. You are, Lord. You're everywhere, whether we acknowledge it or not. Lord, help them to know that you love them and that you care and that you're a refuge during times of trouble, and that they would grow close to you, Lord. I pray that you would keep us safe this year. In Jesus' name, amen. So, survival guide. This is just so awkward doing this. I apologize. That's another thing you need to know about me, is I'm just awkward. Have any of you heard stories about me just out of curiosity, or things about me? Any of you like prejudged me? Titus, have you prejudged me a little bit? No, that's okay. All right. So we're going to just talk about some basic guidelines. I'm going to ask you guys to like participate a little bit in a minute. And here we go. Okay. All right, so survival guide for my class. Hey, how to survive. This is an important verse. I don't know if it's familiar to you guys, but this is one of those things, if you put this verse into practice, you're going to avoid a lot of different problems. Go ahead and look up at the screen with me while I read it for you, please. This is Jesus talking. Someone asked Jesus, hey, what's the most important law or command for me to follow? And Jesus said, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And then he went further. The guy said, what's the most important commandment? And Jesus gave them two. Okay, I'm going to ask in a minute maybe if someone can tell me why. Okay, and there's no right or wrong answer. Okay, the second is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There's no commandment greater than these. Okay, any idea why Jesus would throw in two when someone says, hey, what's the most important commandment? Why would Jesus throw out the love me, love God with everything, and love your neighbor as yourself? Titus.
Because if you follow those two, then all the other ones will fall in line.
Yeah, exactly. If you're doing those two things well, all the other things will take care of themselves. Okay, if you really love God the right way and you really love people, you're going to avoid all kinds of problems. Okay. Now, I don't know where you are personally in your relationship with God. I'm going to say something really controversial, okay? I don't think it's too controversial, and I don't think it's that much of a mystery. Not everyone who goes to Northwest Christian has a relationship with God, okay? They may know things about God. They may have a respect for God. They may not even have that respect for God. But just being, it's like going to church. Does it automatically make you a Christian? No, it doesn't, okay? It's that relationship. Do you love him, okay? And so I hope you do, okay? I know that I don't do it well enough. I don't know if you guys would confess that, but I don't love God with everything all the time, okay? My heart is easily divided. I think and worry about other things. I care about sports too much, okay? I am selfish. I love myself too much, honestly, okay? I am plagued by pride and selfishness, but I'm working toward that, okay? And part of that is just knowing how much he loves me despite all my failures, okay? That's huge for me. Loving your neighbor as yourself. Your neighbor is not the person that does all the same activities that you do. Your neighbor isn't the person who acts just like you act, lives in the same neighborhood, wears the same kind of clothes. Your neighbor is your neighbor. You guys understand that, right? Okay? It's everybody around you, okay? So those are my two, please silence your phones. That's okay. That's all right. We'll get to that in a minute. So my request for you guys is to respect God in here, okay? Even if that's not really where your heart is. I hope it is. I'd love to talk to you guys about that. You may be thinking, is this Bible class? It is. Every class is Bible class, but it is English focused. But we're going to bring biblical truth into things, okay? So there's no commandment greater than those. Love God, love other people, okay? That is my charge to you guys in this classroom. Next one. So here's the dreaded COVID stuff. Your mask needs to cover your mouth and your nose, okay? If you guys are in the back row and look up, you'll see it's posted. If you're in the front 2 rows and look up, you'll see it's posted, okay? Just a reminder, when you're not in your assigned seat, your mask needs to be on. You are free to take it off, okay? When you're in your seat, all right? I am supposed to wear this face shield when I'm up front talking, or if I'm in anyone's space for like longer than 10 minutes, which I promise I'm not going to just get up in your space for 10 minutes. That would be kind of weird, okay? Unless you really need help with something. I'm not going to just hover over people, okay? I will if you're causing trouble for 10 minutes. I'll hover for 10 minutes. And I do have a tarantula in here that I do use if I need to. There's a tarantula. So anyway, all right. You guys did a good job. I didn't even have to tell people. People were getting up and sitting next to partners to interview for that little assignment and putting on masks. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. And we'll do group work from time to time. Okay. I hope that you guys like that idea of being able to like work cooperatively and not just listen to me talk for 80 minutes. I promise I'm not going to talk for 80 straight minutes every day. Okay. Unless you pay me. All right. And then at the end of class, I have to clean the tables. I'm not super thrilled about that. I am thrilled about it. If it keeps people healthy and safe, I'm super thrilled about it. But it's something that when there's a couple minutes left, I'm going to ask you guys to pack up all your stuff. And I'm not going to let you leave early. We have to stay till the bell, but you can just mask up, stand up, and just give me space so I can go along the tables that are being used and wipe those off, okay? That is going to be kind of the procedure there, okay? And Mr. Wells talked about this already, okay? And I would bet that you guys have different opinions and feelings about this. I bet within this room, how many of you would say you have an opinion about all the rules and COVID and protocols that might even go like political? You might get political about it and feel like there's people behind it controlling and stuff like that. Absolutely, okay? I bet some of you are really frustrated with the things that have been taken away from you because of COVID, okay? The movie theater thing, I was actually like looking, they're apparently open in Coeur d'Alene. I haven't been to a movie in forever, and I keep seeing a preview for that Tenet movie that looks really cool. And I might drive to Coeur d'Alene to see it. But anyway, I want us to just think about the heart behind why we have all these rules, okay? Because what happens, okay, and please listen to me, what happens, I remember when I was in high school, rules are just stupid. It's just people trying to control us. Why do we have to do all this? This is lame, okay? Instead of looking at that, because it is, you know what, I don't like wearing this thing, okay? And if you think a mask is uncomfortable for you, try wearing it, you know, when you have a beard. Okay, ladies will never be able to do that, but you know, it's just not comfortable. It's not fun. Your face gets really hot. And but what would be some, I'm going to ask you guys, because like I said, I kind of get the feeling that most people feel kind of negative about all the restrictions and protocols. What would be some good reasons, instead of just being legalistic and having a bunch of rules to follow? What would be some valuable reasons for just kind of following the guidelines that the school is putting in place? Maddie?
I feel like if we do our best, we can't like stop it, then we'll get out of it soon.
Okay, so yeah, just do it so that the people that keep restricting everything will stop and let us have our freedoms back. Okay, what else? What would be some other reasons to do it? Go ahead, Nora, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To keep other people safe, because we don't know the risk factors of other people's parents or relatives.
Yeah.
So if we get it, then we can
Good. Yeah, keeping people safe. Okay. Does anyone, just out of curiosity, know someone who's been who's gotten COVID? Just out of curiosity. Okay, a few people have. My father-in-law, like one of his close friends in Arizona, actually died from it, and so it is something we can get into the whole. Well, the person probably had other underlying things. And it's like, well, that's still sad that COVID caused those underlying things to kill them. And so, anyway. That's another thing, okay? And anyone in here a germaphobe? Kind of like you just get grossed out when people, I hate mucus. I'm gonna just say that, okay? If you have like a mucusy voice, I'm gonna love you anyway. And I won't like say, man, your voice is mucusy, but it just kind of grosses me out. Like, I don't know if anyone is like that. Anyone like sensitive to certain sounds? A little bit. So, I don't know, just the idea of like spreading less germs overall is kind of a good idea too, but that doesn't mean we have to wear masks all the time. But here's the thing, okay? There are people who feel scared, okay? Who feel legitimately scared, and this is not the time to say, oh, those people are stupid and should think like I think, okay? That's not the time to do that, okay? God calls us to love our neighbor as ourselves, to look out for the interests and concerns of other people. And so it's an opportunity to serve other people. It's an opportunity to trust God with it. And man, we get to have school, okay? We get to have school. We get to be together. And these things I really am confident are going to bother you, like the rules and the teachers coming up and saying, hey, put your mask on, or hey, you can't do this and you can't do that. It's going to be kind of frustrating to you guys. But if you can see the heart behind it and why we do those things, it might make it a little bit easier, I hope, okay? A couple more things to talk to you guys about. When you come to class, there's some things I want you guys to bring, okay? I would really love it if you have the capability of bringing your own laptop or device to class. That would be phenomenal. It's not absolutely required, but it will just make things easier. If that's impossible for you, I can work with you, but things are going to be uploaded on LMS for you guys to do, and you'll have to do digital stuff anyway at home, and it would be good to have that for like writing essays when we get to that, just having a laptop or a device. And the school does have some that you can check out like for the day or whatever, but starting not next week, but the week after, I'm going to ask people to bring devices. And if that's an issue for you, just let me know, okay? Not everyone, can get, but like I said, the school has some, okay? How many of you have your own device that you can use and bring? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we can make arrangements for you. When you write in pen, please don't write in purple or red or orange. It's pretty, it's cute, it's colorful, okay? But it's just not academically professional. Blue or black ink. If you're gonna write in pencil, you guys will all notice I've given you your own mechanical pencil, a gift from me, okay? That has like 0.9 lead in it, okay? If you don't want it, you can just leave it and I'll give it to somebody else after I sterilize it, but that is yours to keep. I would recommend mechanical pencils, and it's because I don't have any pencil sharpeners in here other than like manual ones, okay? So if you are with the old-fashioned sharpened type pencils, please sharpen those on your own, or during break time before class starts, I can lend you a manual one, okay? Any questions about that, okay? Having a binder would be really good, because there will be handouts that will be hole punch for you guys in a section for English, okay? Always a good thing to have. Don't just stuff things in your backpack, okay? And then you're encouraged to bring your backpack, so you'll notice that you have a lot of space. I'm not anti-backpack. You can go to your lockers, obviously, if you need to, and get things. But just, I'd encourage you guys to pack what you need into your bag and bring it here, okay? Any questions? Do you guys all see a syllabus in front of you? Class syllabus. we'll start going through this in a minute. I know some of you have already looked through it, but this just explains class rules. Actually, before we do this, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Summer reading projects. You don't have to present today, obviously. I sent an email to parents just encouraging you guys to keep your project at home until the day that you present. And on Tuesday, I will have a sign-up sheet for people to pick what days they're going to present. So that gives you a little bit of extra time. You have a 3-day weekend in front of you if you haven't quite finished the project, okay? We'll start presenting on the 10th, which is next Thursday, okay? And I want to give you guys a little rubric that explains exactly how that presentation and your project is going to be scored, okay? So go ahead and visit for a second while I pass these out to you guys, and we'll go through it. It's full, okay, and maybe some more like hanging file photos if they have them, if not just. Okay, thank you. We'll talk syllabus a little more on Tuesday. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. All right. So you'll notice there is, did everybody get one? There's a spot for your name. Write down the novel that you read, and period, this is period 1. Over the summer, you have the responsibility of creating something that demonstrates you have read and understand your novel. Now you get to present your project. How you present it is up to you, but I would like your presentation to be no longer than 3 minutes, okay? And to include the following elements: the name of the book, and a naming of what you created. Like, I created a board game, I created a painting, that's what I mean by number 2 there. And then number 3, a description of how your project demonstrates understanding of the plot of the story. And then SIFT, I had a really good email asking, like, how do I do the SIFT thing? And I can talk about that really quickly if any of you are still kind of like, I'm not sure what to do. Themes, and then biblical connections found in the book, okay? So did anyone still kind of unclear, like, what do you mean by SIFT, Mr. Gilchrist? What do I do with that? Don't be shy. You guys all feel comfortable with that, okay? You guys remember what the S stands for in SIFT? Symbols, good. So, like, what are the symbols that get used? Okay, you guys have probably all read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when you were younger. What is Aslan symbolic of? God or Jesus, good. Okay, and then the White Witch is like Satan, and the Turkish delight is symbolic of like temptation, and pleasure, and stuff like that. Okay, what are the symbols in your story? Now, how many of you did or are doing Animal Farm? Okay, Animal Farm is packed with historical symbolism. Almost everything represents something in history, from the Russian Revolution and World War II. There's all kinds of symbolism right there, okay? But every story has it. Every author uses things symbolically, okay? I am a J.R.R. Tolkien nerd, okay? We are going to read The Hobbit in here, and I love The Lord of the Rings. Have you guys seen the movies or read any of the books? Know kind of how it ends? I don't want to spoil it for you, but them getting in a ship and sailing and it ending that way, that's like supposed to represent kind of like passing away from like earth to heaven. And so symbolism in good stories will have symbolism, okay? Imagery is language that appeals to your senses. The description is so good that you can imagine the sight, smell, taste, or feel of something, okay? Figurative language. Let's see what you guys know. Give me some examples of figurative language. If I say that something is something else, like that guy's a clown, Titus is a clown. Titus is not literally a clown, I don't think, okay? But I'm calling him something, or if I say Ryan is an animal, okay? Or Brooke is an angel, okay? What is that called when you do that, when you call somebody something that they're not to kind of make a point or comparison? Such with M, metaphor, okay? And then if you say like or as, simile, good, okay? There's personification, hyperbole, okay? There's all kinds of figurative language. You don't have to find every single kind of figurative language there, but give me some examples of how the author uses it, okay? It's when idioms, figures of speech, like waking up on the wrong side of the bed. It's a different meaning than the literal, okay? All right. And then finally, the tone. What is the author's attitude about the subject that they're writing about? Okay. And then themes, like what are the life lessons? What's the author trying to tell you? And then finally, and most importantly, in a Christian honors English class, what are some biblical connections? What are some parallels between the truth that Scripture teaches and the things that you see in your book? Okay. So the questions I usually get, like I did a painting, how am I supposed to do that? Well, if you need to just do a separate write-up, okay, just a little typed up or neatly written piece of paper where you explain those different things, you can. If you look in the back, you can see different summer reading projects that I've received on those two blue bookcases back there. You can see Allure of the Flies one, Fahrenheit 451, which is sophomore English, and then Animal Farm. Had students just kind of like tape the SIFT information on the back of it, so they have their product, and then the write-up that shows understanding of all those different things, okay? And then there's a rubric of how it's going to be scored. It's going to be worth 60 points. Not everybody will probably go next Thursday, okay? But hopefully a good majority of you will, okay? So are there any questions about that? Any questions? So hold on to this, and you can just hand it to me when you do your presentation, and I'll fill it out for you guys, okay? No questions? Okay. Here is what I would like you guys to do. Some of you already were like interviewing somebody, okay? I would like you to just go through the getting to know you and your neighbor sheet with somebody, and just go through all the questions if you haven't, and then what you're gonna do, and you can trio up if you need to. I just wanna make sure everyone has at least one partner. You guys are going to talk. I've talked enough for today. You're going to say like, this is Carissa, and 5 words that describe her are, you know, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry, you're not blah, blah, blah. I'm just, you get the idea. You pick 2 questions where you present one of your classmates, okay? And you answer 2 of those questions. So I can get to know you guys. I'm gonna read it, but I'm not gonna remember it as well as if I hear you presenting other people. So we have, I think, just about 7 minutes left. So go ahead and partner up and pick which 2 questions your neighbor is comfortable having presented, okay? And please mask up as you guys get close to each other.
All right, so here, I'll read you, and then I'll just pick. So we'll just read through it. Okay. Okay. All right, so what city do you want I'll go latest beer and dream job. So I can put that to say. Okay.